Hi. So in this video, I want to talk about that whole idea of staying on track on Summit and thriving as opposed to being off track. And I want to talk about some of the ways that Summit helps you do exactly that. So first of all, the fact that they don't say that you're failing, that they say that you're off track, is very crucial because it reflects the philosophy that you can always improve. In fact, I have even seen students have a 90 on their grade and be off track because they're one power focus area behind at the end of the year. And that doesn't mean they're doing badly. It just means that they're not on track. So that philosophy of on track means you're not a failure. You just need to take steps to improve. Follow the feedback, use the strategies you need to do better. So how can we do that? First of all, focus on feedback instead of grades. Sometimes when you focus too much on the grade, you get overwhelmed. Don't do that. Instead, think about what the next thing that I can do is, especially if you're very frustrated, right? If you're very behind. You don't really want to get overwhelmed with all the things you need to do. Just focus on one or two things at the most that you can do next to get out of the hole. And then little by little, you will climb up to the summit. You won't climb to the summit if you get overwhelmed with everything you need to do. But if you say, okay, what is one thing I can do next? And sometimes when you're very behind, you want to do the easiest thing you can do next, just to build that motivation and get the momentum going. So remember that. And do work with your teachers on this, okay? Do remember that grades can often be fixed or overridden by future work that you do. So it's very important to have that attitude of growth that no, that I can get this, I can do better. And that is actually the whole point of this. When it comes to projects, remember that Summit allows them to be resubmitted sometimes. And even if they don't, future projects can give you opportunities to do the same cog skills and override the low performance on the cog skill of a previous project. So don't get discouraged if your first project went bad. If it went bad because you did a bad job, as in like you didn't work as hard as you should, make that be a wake up call. But if you try as hard as you could and you didn't get a good grade, don't worry. You're going to get other chances. And even if you kind of slacked, make that wake up call and realize, okay, I got to change my behavior. Let me adjust my habits of success, and I'm going to do better next time. Also, remember, sometimes teachers will give you opportunities to do mini projects that can target a single skill and kind of make up for a bad skill that is lowering your overall average. So ask teachers about that, especially if it's towards the end of the year. When it comes to content assessments, don't forget that it does not matter if you don't pass them or how many times you have to try them. You can always retake it, and as soon as you do, they turn green. And that's so awesome. So how many times students go to schools in other places and they can only take the test once? If it's a bad grade, too bad. That is not our attitude. So if you do bad on one of those focus areas, it's okay. Let's re-strategize. What other resources can I use? What other strategies can I use? How can I do better test-taking strategies? How can I study this better? I'm going to do better next time. I'm going to work with my mentor. I'm going to work with my friends. I'm going to work with my teacher, and I'm going to get this done. That's the attitude you have to have. When it comes to portfolio problems in math, remember that you can actually get extra points on a portfolio problem to make up for one that you haven't done. And if you start off that way, you can actually have leeway for the future. And you actually drop the lowest too. So if you kind of did bad on one, don't freak out too much. But if the teacher lets you, resubmit it, fix it. And a lot of times teachers will. And the same kind of idea applies for unit assessments in math. And remember, those are the ones that you only get tested once per skill. It's not like the project where you get other opportunities on each skill. So you got to make sure that you're ready for those tests. But if it goes badly, ask your teacher, can I do test corrections? Can I do a retake? Or at the very least, capitalize on doing better on future tests. Meet with the teacher, get some tutoring, look for that help so that you can actually do better. So with that in mind, let's talk about getting help. What are some of the things that I can do to make sure that I get the help that I need? First of all, your mentor is key. Your mentor can help you identify the areas that you need to work on the most and help you make those goals. They can help you identify your areas of strengths and weaknesses and yet help you use your strengths to help you make up for your weaknesses. They can help you make plans and find the best resources for you, the best study strategies, the best text-taking strategies so that you can do better as time goes by. They can also help you reflect on how you're doing and what are the things that have and have not been working for you. And they can help you stay motivated to succeed. So lean on your mentor to actually make sure that as the year goes by, you can keep doing better. And I do have some general ideas on places that you can go get help. First of all, my rule of thumb, and I used to do this when I was a student, and I tell my students to do the same. I always I don't care if people make fun of me because I want to get a good grade. I raise my hand in the middle of class and I ask questions. And if the teacher says later, I will write it down and then make sure that I raise my hand as soon as I have a chance because I need an answer for that question. And if you're embarrassed of doing that publicly because you're not the kind of person that can do that, I will write it down. And then when I have a chance, I'll go in private and ask the teacher. Or at the very least, after everybody leaves the room, I will catch the teacher at the door and ask them, or drop the note on their desk and then say, "Can you please reply this to me?" And with that in mind, you can also come see the teacher in private on a one-on-one during the teacher's office hours or SDL time. And worst comes to shove, I never go home without, at the very least, shooting the teacher an email and saying, I was confused about this, this, and this in class, and I need help with this, this, and this. That way, you never leave for tomorrow. You never go home with a bad thing in your mind from that day, right? And that way, you take care of things on the spot. That is the best advice I can give you. Try to be courageous to raise your hand in class, or at the very least, write it down and ask it later. Catch the teacher later in the day, or at least email the teacher. And by the way, another idea that goes along with that is if I'm not in class, I do the same thing. I go see my teacher and ask him in class next time I see him, or I go to office hours, or I send an email the very moment I get back, or even when I miss the class. It's like, I'm going to miss class today. What am I going to miss? What can I do? That is the best way to keep track. And a lot of times teachers will already post what's happening in class. And so you don't even need to ask. Those are the good ones, right? Another thing you can do is to actually use the platform or the Google Classroom to your advantage. A lot of times there's a lot of resources there that kids don't even use. Links to resources that teachers post. There's a lot of help that you can get online these days. You can also find resources on your own. Go to Google, and if you need to find a worksheet to do more practice, do that. And if you don't know how to do that, ask your teacher. They will help you learn how to find help on your own. And if everything fails, seek the help of a tutor. All right. So whether that's a classmate, and so that will actually help you out for free or charge you for that, or if it's a professional, someone that's actually going to, if you have the money and will pay you to help you get on track, or if there's a program at the school, after school, that will actually help you with free tutoring. Never be embarrassed of seeking the help before things get bad. When you start seeing reds in the platform, that's when you want to jump in and get the help you need. I hope this video is helpful to you and that you can lean on these advices as the year goes by and that you will do a good job because of that. I'll see you next time.